Hello everyone tuning in from all over. This is the World Junior Ultimate Championships of 2018 held here in Waterloo. We are in Canada and we are on the showcase field brought to you by Cut Camps. We have two undefeated teams here in the final vying for the gold medal. We have Team USA. They're going to be starting on offense, taking on hometown favorites, Team Canada. I'm Naomi Redmond, joined by Andrew Portwine here in the booth, and we are excited for this game.
Yeah, looking forward to this traditional matchup. Perennial powerhouse teams, USA and Canada. Undefeated, as you say, shaping up to be the match of the tournament, I think.
And here, like I said, we have USA on offense, Canada playing D here, match defense, person defense, and Team USA towing the line, able to keep it in. So we have Mox in the middle, inside, that's a nice soft inside break. Cody Smart right on the front sideline, or sorry, on the front end zone line. And that is all the way to the break side. Connor Ryan with a goal.
Yeah, and you can see the Canadian Mark Pettinuzzo put his head down, but the USA has the wind. Don't hang your head. You made them work a little bit for that. That's what they're supposed to do.
Absolutely, and an obligation for me, quick shout out to Justin Pettinuzzo and his dad, Dave, out in Victoria. That's where I'm from. That's where I learned how to play Ultimate. So exciting to see some players, himself, Sean Bennett as well, from the University of Victoria. So shout out to them, shout out to everyone at home and the growing program out on Vancouver Island.
Yeah, and just speaking about Canada, it's nice to see it is a coast-to-coast true national representation for our country, and very pleased that they are in the final. Full disclosure, I am Canadian, so maybe a little bit biased, but just knowing our program, it is wonderful to see that coast-to-coast influence.
So here we will have Canada receiving on offense. We're going to take our first look at the American defensive line, our first look at the Canadian offensive line. Expect to see some big throws here from Canada. They really like that huck. They've got a lot of tall receivers. And on the flip side, a lot of tall people in blue out here as well. They've been playing a lot of person defense, really tight, a lot of pressure. And the wind is definitely here today. It's definitely the sort of eighth man on the field, you could say. So we'll see what we get here. But we have Canada in the middle. That's Steele on the sideline. Some nice handler defense. We have Bennett on the sideline. Back out to the middle. It's Jeffrey Boris. And that is a nice bid by Canada, but the disc just gets pushed down. Like I said, that's the downwind side, a little bit windy. So this Canadian offense line is going to have to turn around and play some D here.
U.S. did a good job really pressuring the Canadian handlers and taking away the reset in the backfield. Canada had to go to those midfield cuts.
And those throws are tough. That is going to get lofted out. Huge layout bid by Team USA. Canada able to hang on to that, and that is their first of this game. That was a huge layout bid. So close, right at the front cone. An incredible athletic play by Team USA to open out this game.
Fully airborne. We have a couple of these U.S. players are quite tall. They have one or two players that look like they will have a height advantage on the Canadian squad. Be interested to see if they use that. And I believe that player that just took the big layout bid was at full stretch, was one of their 2 or 3 tallest players on the team. If he can't get it, no one's getting it.
Both of these teams, like I mentioned before, have gone undefeated in this tournament. Canada getting a little bit of a scare in pool play from France, who they saw again in the semifinal, able to close that game out a lot more comfortably the second time they faced them. USA, on the other hand, had a few scares playing New Zealand in pool play, going toe-to-toe until 11s. Just an electric game on that sideline. We spoke a little bit about New Zealand's impressive showing at this tournament, but also USA taking on Belgium in the semifinals and having quite the game, going to 13-13. But that is a nice throw out into space, all alone. 21, Connor Ryan. That's his second of this game.
Yeah, showing his wheels. He had 3 Canadian defenders in his dust trying to chase him down. They could not close that gap at all.
And I believe that throw came up from number 53, Johnny Mox, and he's been one of the stat leaders on this American team. A lot of balance on the team. Every single player so critical to such a deep bench, but that is a nice throw and really showing his disc control there, able to put it out into space, out of the reach of any Canadian defense.
And just to touch a little bit on what you were speaking about a few moments ago, New Zealand playing very well, France playing very well, challenging these traditional powerhouses in Canada and the USA. It's been a real pleasure to see the rest of the world is closing the gap, and we're going to start to see more parity soon. We're going to have these more competitive tournaments, and it's been wonderful to see France, New Zealand, these other countries push the powerhouse teams.
So here we have Canada on offense, USA to pull. That is a high pull. Gonna stick around the brick mark. Canada picking up in the middle. And again, very good handler pressure from the American defense. Canada with very few options, finding Sean Bennett. He is looking deep. He's got a couple of receivers in the area, and that is a box out. That's a goal for Canada. I believe that was number 9, Nabil Chayouch, playing in with the Royale in the AUDL, also playing some juniors ultimate with Hydro out of Quebec. So like we said, that is a Victoria thrower going to a Montreal receiver. It's great to see some of that spread out in our huge country, coast to coast.
And it's the same with the American team. You look through their roster, you see some people from Wisconsin, you see people from Philadelphia, out in the East Coast, Amherst area, Boston people. So, I mean, they have a pretty good representation coast to coast as well. I mean, our countries are huge, and sometimes it can be very difficult to bring a full team together that represents the full nation. But I think both of these squads have done a good job selecting players that represent their countries as a whole.
And that's definitely something different that these North American teams go up against the European teams. Running their trainings very similarly. They do a few training camps up in the months leading towards the World Championships, but a lot of the European teams able to get together for practices, sometimes, weekly, monthly, so they do have a lot more opportunity to play together. Canada usually going to a few tournaments together and getting their reps in that way, but really great to see these fantastic players able to string it together and develop some chemistry as the week goes on. So we have a zone now from Canada, and that is a foul call. It's not going to be contested, but that's a nice zone pressure from Canada there.
Yeah, these hand signals, I thought Hayter was turning around. He had his open palms up like, what do you mean that's not a clean hand block? But that is the no contest signal for WFDF.
So a little bit of traffic, but Shuey able to hang on to it. Back to Smart in the middle. And the U.S. really showing their throwing skills here. That throw out to the break side, so nice. The wind is gusting right now, but you wouldn't be able to tell from some of these discs going up. And again, like I said yesterday, eat my words, that throw just gets pushed down by the wind, pushed out. It's going to go out the back. So Canada going to pick up on the front cone here.
And as you can see on your screen right now, if you look in the background, the sky is pretty dark and foreboding in the background, so we do have some weather coming in. This wind is going to pick up. No doubt you can hear it on our mics right now as it gusts.
So we have Canada running a bit of a horizontal stack here. Nice job by Canada to prevent that looming Callahan. In the middle, Canada swinging across. Pettinuzzo working hard in the backfield there. Bedard with the disc.
It's nice to see Canada really not holding the disc. It's moving quickly. 2 stalls maybe is the highest stall count in the last little while. When they were going downwind, they were almost content to have that 5, 6, 7 stall count and look for what they wanted.
So Armstrong dishes it out to the side. Bedard scoops his way up line, but that disc is just going to get pushed up into the sky, so Mock's able to come down with it. That high release backhand to Smart. Very cheeky throw in this kind of weather.
Yeah, that's supreme confidence to throw that today.
And that is 2 in a row. That high release flick, soft break. Team USA at 3, Canada at 2.
High release in this wind, like that is really, really supreme confidence and knowing your abilities and not playing out of it. Very good choice.
And we were speaking in the women's game. We just saw Team USA play Colombia for the gold medal. USA coming out on top 15-8. And we were talking about the stat lines of some of the players in that on those teams. Team USA very balanced. A few outliers in Claire Trope and some of the others, Phillips, I believe. But Colombia with a few players with over 40 points to their name before that game. But you'll see if you're to look at the schedule for these two teams on the field right now, both teams very similar. I was taking a look at Canada, and the most points that anyone had before this game was 16, and that was to Sean Bennett. So that just speaks to how everyone on this team is playing. Everyone is scoring. Everyone is throwing goals. Everyone is capable, top to bottom, on the rosters. And Team USA, very similar.
And that also speaks to why they're here. I mean, you don't have to worry about what line you put out. You have confidence in your team to go out and play to win.
And just a bit of a drop there. Throw into the middle. Wind pushing it down faster than anticipated. So Team USA is going to have a look at breaking upwind. Looks like a travel call. So Villeneuve is going to take a step back. Start again. Throw out into space. It's floating. And that is going to be an uncontested foul call. Just a little bit of contact, knocking the disc out of the hands of Ryan Dinger.
Yeah, Icebrenner just going up to make a play on it himself, and the American player that caught it just clipped the body, dropped the disc.
So Dinger looking into the end zone, sees an open player. That is number 4, Suvel Fernandez, right on the doorstep. Inside throw. That is the upwind break for Team USA.
You can see the huge celebration. They know how important that upwind is in this game. That's critical.
We did see that upwind break in the US-Colombia game prior to this. It happened at 6s, teams going toe-to-toe up until they were tied at 6s, and that was essentially what closed out that game. Colombia unable after that to get the downwind, or sorry, the upwind hold. It's so hard when you're working upfield, and we'll see what Canada can do here. They put out that offensive line, the same line once again, and they're all very talented throwers. They have a lot more depth than Colombia had in the previous point, so we'll see what they can do. But they really, really have to protect their end zone here. They're going to have to play possession offense to make sure that they don't, separate the gap a little bit more.
Yeah, you can't let USA run away with this too early. Canada then has to press and take more chances in this wind, and that's definitely not good for the game, not for their game plan anyways. You want to make sure you stay close and you can play within your game and your system that you've been working on for so long. And I feel like Canada's actually handled themselves going upwind not too badly. I feel like they've had more trouble downwind with those discs that are just dropping below their hands as they go to catch, and they're misplaying some of those discs.
As they say, a little too casual. Canada is going to have to calibrate here to put everything together. So that is a big throw out into space. And that is a nice read. Canada coming down with it, far sideline, 10 yards outside the end zone. Not a lot of options, a lot of defense. Somehow Nabil Shayoush shakes free all alone on the open side. Canada able to hang on. We are 4-3 for Team USA.
And maybe that's the anti-commentator's curse, but backing up what I said, that deep throw from Canada, they handled the upwind throw fairly well and got a big gain out of that. And I feel like some of the shorter throws the other way have been diving into the turf, and players have been missing those. So great job from Canada to handle the wind and get the goal. Maybe a touch of help from the U.S. on what looked like maybe a blown assignment on the final throw to the goal.
Absolutely, but they were stuck there on the sideline for a long time. That was definitely a high stall throw. Very excellent defense, sort of stifling, suffocating defense up until stall 8 maybe. But Shayoush, number 9 on Canada, somehow scoots out in front onto the open side, making it easy.
Want to give a shout out to SportsCanada.TV as well and their staff who have been here all week, staying out in the wind and the rain as we had midweek. And they've been doing a great job for us to bring this stream to everyone at home.
And they have been long days, so we've been spending a lot of time together here, but definitely grateful for all the help we've had from everyone here this week. So it looks like it's going to be an offside. One of the rules in WFDF with this is game advisors will call the offside. They'll make a hand signal, but it's up to the teams to recognize to call it. Oh, my mistake.
Preemptive pull.
Been updated here. The receiving team, Team USA, was not ready for the pull that went up. So it's going to go back, and Canada is going to get a second chance here. So is USA.
Maybe not a bad thing to see Canada eager to play defense, chomping at the bit. Always like to see that D-line out there ready to play.
That is a great pull, crashing into the ground. Cody Smart and Johnny Mox are going to have to work a little bit harder here, especially up against this 4-person zone. That is a big wall, shutting down a lot of things happening in the middle. Not a lot of options. There's Ryan Dinger sitting in the middle, but he's covered by Canada. That's Connor Armstrong covering Dinger. And that is out of bounds.
Standing on the sideline when the disc was caught, I think. These benches are so large. There's so many sideline players. We couldn't quite get a clear view at that ourselves from the angle we're at.
We're going to have Owen Armstrong picking up. And a laying out grab. That's Barrett Wacholtz.
U.S. is calling the player out. Game advisor is on site.
And that's one of those things as well. It's the first point of contact to the ground. So Barrett looks like maybe his elbow or something touched the ground before his toes. So Team USA looking upfield here. Canada trying to organize their zone defense. USA choosing to have 3 handlers back and a few people in the mix in the midfield, making it a little bit harder on the handlers, but they're such elite throwers that they don't seem to be struggling at all, working their way through the cup. They are miles ahead. Bedard calling a foul, or sorry, a travel.
Travel. I think that's a pretty good call.
Yeah, a lot of very, very quick movement, so everyone is going to have to shift backwards here to adjust to that call.
Shuey with the disc. The gloves are giving way. I was going to give him a little credit earlier for something he did. Excellent player. He's been all over the field throughout the game so far.
It's a nice mark from Canada. USA gets it up to the middle. Dinger out to Smart. That's Taylor. And a nice rolling layout grab by Mox. He's looking up at the end zone, doing a lot of work back and forth. Canada struggling to make up the distance. And Smart floats it out. We are going to be on the front cone. And that's a nice shake free. That's a good cut up the line. Team USA is now at 5, Canada at 3.
Yeah, that was a great cut in the end zone. The double move. So the USA with that upline cut that got them right to the front of the cone, just about clipping the mark. They are taking as much of a direct line as possible. So see if that catches up where the mark might step back and force them to go a little longer. But that was extremely close to running through the mark.
And great effort by Canada. That's tough. Team USA able to turn on a dime. They've definitely been doing a lot of agility work here, especially number 2, Cody Smart, able to just turn so quickly, get open up the line so fast. You wouldn't know that this is, day 8 of the tournament. His feet are just moving so quickly, and that is such an impressive cut into the end zone.
I think I'll say for all of us that have been working through this event, we're pretty sure it's day 8. Maybe feels like about day 20 for a few of us out here with these longer days. Nice pull.
Canada into the end zone.
Oof, that seems like a bit of a liberty with the walk.
Took a little bit of a stroll through the park here, but Canada dealing with some very difficult defense from USA. And we are looking deep, but fakes it off. It's Keenan Ashley with the disc, looking for someone. Team USA just playing phenomenal person defense right now. We have Komeyer on the sideline. And he is gonna have to rip it. Just incredible defense from Team USA. Canada having 0 options anywhere on the field.
I think that might have been the best defensive set I've seen all week from any team in any division. Just phenomenal lockdown D.
So Team USA calling a timeout. They're about their brick mark. Their end zone stack in a horizontal, a little bit disorganized, so they call a timeout. They're going to have time to sort out exactly what they're looking for. Team Canada going to have to look to make a strong defensive stand, see what they can do here, see how they can challenge the U.S. like they just got challenged, because that was some just jaw-dropping, stifling defense.
Yeah, and I think challenge is a great word. U.S. has the wind. If you can just challenge them and make them work and expend some energy, yeah, you're down by a couple of points, but try and make that other team work as hard as possible to put it in. You can hear that wind picking up in our mics, I'm sure. The sky is darkened on all sides of us. Weather is rolling in.
Definitely making things just a little bit more difficult for these teams, and it's the thing that's going to separate them is throwing. It's going to be throwing, it's going to be catching, and it's going to be, as we saw in the last game, the second efforts. If you are making a defensive play on something and you don't catch it, or you don't, smack it into the ground, it's going to float, and it's going to give both sides another chance. So, both teams are definitely going to have to be working hard here, going for the second, third, 10th attempts, because things are going to be floating towards the right side of your screen.
And I'd even like to add one more qualifier into that, given the forecast, throwing with a wet disc and rain. I think we are going to get some rain fairly soon in this game. That may start to see some separation between the teams as well, as who can handle that rain and wet disc.
That's some nice coverage. Connor Chin looking around. Looks like there was a call here. Looks like an offensive foul. Chin pushing number 14, that's Keenan Ashley, a little bit on the mark, and saying that push prevented the mark from doing his job. So we're going to stop here, bringing in the game advisors.
Yeah, you can see there's more physicality. You can see the pairing just to the right in the backfield, number 20 for the U.S. I believe it's number 15 for Canada. That's been a great matchup the last couple of seconds here. It's been getting a little more physical.
And a nice switch from Canada, able to stop that upline throw. And there it is, that end zone stand from Canada, really showing their, putting something behind that defense, playing for pride. And that's a great defensive stand for this O-line.
And you can see the communication in the switches, showing their mental fortitude on the defensive end.
Oh, and a lot of body contact on Icebrenner. Sean Bennett also in the area, but it looks like it was out of bounds. Ryan Connor in the area as well. So unfortunate for Canada. That was a big throw. Same lane Huck. It's tough in this weather. Oh, but looks like it's actually going to go back. Perhaps a foul call.
Yeah, game advisor said, hold on, keep the disc up the field. We're going to have a discussion before we see if it goes back.
And number 11 there on Canada, Jeffrey Boris. He's one of their O-line handlers out of Winnipeg, sort of the central part of Canada here. Winnipeg producing so many good players all around. Tons of players from that team on this field here. We see a really great program that has had a lot of success in the past. We believe there are 7 Winnipeg players from MoFo, that's Masters of Flying Objects. So a very impressive program, great pedigree, and they're able to put together essentially a full line of players. So we were speaking to that before. If coaches ever want to draw on some experience, these players know each other very well, certainly a large amount of camaraderie. So that is Jeffrey Boris, and we are looking deep again, but a nice poach by Villeneuve, stopping that upfield look. And again, there is that throw. That is a big throw. Nabil Shayoush just out of the hands. That is a nice bid. Full speed layout, but Team USA rushing a little bit on their own, and Canada, Luke Komeyer with the disc. Nice grab, Jeffrey Boris out to space, and that is a huge grab.
You can see that ankle stuck in the turf, twisted with the defender falling on the ankle. It was a great catch, great concentration, held on to it even through that injury before he dropped the disc.
That was just so much air, that throw popping up a lot on the upwind side. The wind, for you folks at home, it's going left to right on your screen. And so much focus to hang on to that. Great work by Canada. Team USA causing a lot of pressure.
And while we're having the player attended to, both teams, I think, picked up the disc too quickly in that possession. The U.S. really tried to force it and turned it over on the first throw in front of the end zone. Canada sprinted to pick it up with only one player ahead of the play with a defender on them. Maybe too fast, got a high stall count, and really had to work to get that out. I think I'd like to see Canada in this case wait, set up their end zone, and you're going upwind. You need this. Don't fast play it unless you know you're absolutely 100% sure, and it wasn't. There was a defender in the end zone, so set up the offense.
And just a great grab. Good to see all the players walking off the field. It looks like there's going to be a call. Not entirely sure if that's going to be a goal or not, but it looks like it is. So Canada on the board here. A little bit of confusion, a lot of bodies around the end zone, but it's going to be 5 for USA, 4 for Canada.
Yeah, that was right at the front of the end zone. So did he toe the line? As well, he did drop the disc after the injury. Did he hang on to it long enough to establish possession in the end zone?
A lot of moving pieces here.
Canada with the upwind point. Critical.
Critical. That's the only way that we can describe it. We did see it in the last game when Team USA able to get that upwind break. just able to run away with it after that. So Canada able to secure that point is very important to stay in this game, because it's in this kind of weather, it's easy to see things, you know, going one way or the other, or not. They call wind the great equalizer of the game. You could say that about any sort of weather. If we get rain, if we get that kind of thing coming in, it's going to change this game. Both teams will have to show their mental adjustments and their physical adjustments to play with the weather.
Yeah, and you'll start to see if the rain does roll in. You look at the U.S. team, there are some players from Seattle, traditional rainy areas in the Pacific Northwest, Canada as well. You spoke about the Victoria connection from our West Coast, Vancouver. These players play in the rain, practice in the rain. You start to look at the East Coast players, you know, Boston in the U.S., Eastern Seaboard, Central Canada here in Ontario and Winnipeg. Not so much with the rain. We're not used to it all that much, so it is a great equalizer for certain areas of the country, certain players.
And I would say, especially out west, we play year-round outside. So you're playing in December in the rain when it's very, very cold. And as we said, on the Eastern Seaboard, you get inside, you play inside domes. So a lot of those players have really great throws because they're used to practicing them inside. You can take a lot of chances and learn some new tricks. But Canada, Leo D attempt, doesn't get it, but that disc goes into the turf. So Canada with a chance to break here. Armstrong gonna pick up the disc.
And the nice methodical walk to let the offense set up. I wish I had seen that at the other end, even though they did convert.
I think they knew. Wacholtz stuck in the mud a little bit there, gets sucked in. So we're gonna dish it back to the middle. And that's a figure of speech. We're playing on turf here, but he did get sucked in. Bedard back to Armstrong, looking towards the inside. That's an inside throw. Kieran Charnock, pressure is rising, but we're gonna have a foul on number 36, that's Scott Graham. Actually a player at the University of Waterloo, so he's a local kid.
Yeah, true hometown advantage.
McLean on the sideline. Canada really content to use their full 10 stalls here, taking their time. They know how important this break is to get back on serve.
And I like the patience to work it to the far sideline from your camera angle. Give themselves more open side to deal with.
Inside shot, up the gut, into the hands. That's number 12, Aiden Hayter. Canada knots things up at 5.
And they just tell me, we don't need your stinking open side. We're gonna put it in the end zone of the break.
And that is a very impressive throw from Canada. You know, going downwind, that inside flick. Just so much disc control. Team USA walking to the other side. We are tied at 5s. This is a ball game. We're back on serve.
And as much as we're still early in the game, it's almost been a tale of two halves so far. The U.S. came out strong. Canada had a little bit of problem with the wind. I feel like in the last 3 or 4 points, Canada seems to be handling the game a little bit better in the conditions. Let's see if the U.S. can now recalibrate and get back to where they were earlier in the game.
Absolutely, and I think I'm starting to feel a few raindrops up in the booth here. We're definitely getting some wind. Stuff is blowing through. It's starting to drizzle a little bit, so we'll see how that affects this game.
If it starts to rain, I might just abandon you here. I might melt.
That's okay. Like I said before, I'm from the West Coast, so I'm waterproof.
Oh. So USA to receive.
They are going downwind, so they have a bit of an easier job here. If Canada is going to try and break, definitely going to be difficult. That pull is just going to land in bounds. So Canada able to set up a trap zone on Mox. And that is a huge cross-field scuba. Very cool looking, but it's going to be out of bounds. Unfortunate for Shuey. Tracks that down. What a throw.
You could see him getting his footwork lined up. He wanted the greatest, sideline greatest if he could. It's just too far out for him.
And Canada immediately with the mistake, trying to get it off that sideline. Team USA gonna capitalize. That is Ryan Connor just so critical in this game. I believe that's his 3rd goal out of their 6. Team USA able to capitalize right away. An early mistake. I think we're not going to see one of those cross-field scoobers again, but just trying to get it off the sideline. So good on Team USA for cleaning that up.
That's great hands on Connor in the end zone.
So Canada now looking downwind.
U.S. still fast played that to the end zone. The Canadian defender had a beat on that. Connor really, I think, bailed his handler out with that throw. Maybe not the throw they exactly wanted. Great set of mitts in the end zone to bring that in.
And a nice grab. It was really coming in hot, in an angle, off that blading backhand. And those are tough. You know, there's only really one point of contact from where it's crashing down, where it can go into your hands. So, you know, the flat throw is much easier to run onto, but Connor having to set up in one spot with a Canadian defender in the area. So really great grab there.
I don't know if you just saw that pull. That was a full 360 to lead into that pull from the American player. That's the first time I think I've ever seen that in a competitive game.
So you have Steele on the sideline. Nice little lefty dish to Komar. Few Canadians going into the end zone. Komar chooses to dish it out to the middle. Canada, quick movement here, not letting any stall counts get set. That is an around break throw. Nice bid, picks up the garbage. Shared spike. Love that camaraderie from Canada. Canada holds here 6-6.
I love the intensity, the bid, not knowing that his teammate was right behind waiting for the goal anyway. Go after that disc if it's in the air. Love to see that.
And, you know, spikes and ultimate always, you know, hotly contested subject, but I love seeing the Canadian men fired up there, sharing that spike together. It's good style, I think.
Yeah, so long as your opponents aren't immediately in your vicinity or no way spiking at them, I'm fine with a little creative spike like that. So we do indeed have some wind and rain pushing into our booth as it goes in my eyes, blowing right into us.
If you hear any rustling around, I'm putting on my jacket, putting on my rain pants. Great purchase for this week here in Waterloo. Definitely happy with that.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't control the weather to make it a little better week for everybody, but I'll work on that one in the future.
Oh, and it is coming down out of nowhere. We are definitely getting some weather right now. We're going to see a very different look from the teams on the field on this point.
Pardon us as we cover the equipment just for the good of the broadcast. We do want to stay with you as long as possible. Depending on how bad this rain gets, we may sign off briefly until we can get the equipment covered.
And I think that's going to be right now. We're going to try and get the camera covered here to sort of makeshift waterproof it.
All right, we are going to take a 2-minute break just so we can get the equipment covered, and then we'll get you back to the action.
We are back. We are back with a little bit of I can't hear myself at all. I believe
we
are back, but that is a lightning call. We are going to have to vacate the field here.
All right.
Unfortunate.
We will be back after a 30-minute lightning break, minimum 30 minutes. For those watching, we do have a giant field house here. All spectators and players will be safely covered, and we will be back after this lightning break.
And it'll be at least 30 minutes, so check our Twitter, and I will update you there on when we're going to come back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't want it to get wet before it has to get wet.
Well, we can also kind of hold the bag and cover it.
Oh yeah, the bag right here.
Like,
yeah, I was gonna do that. I was trying to do that before.
yeah, I mean, like I said, we don't need audio until even if it's a point or two in.
So yeah, so we're back on streaming. They just see the scoreboard, and this is what they see.
Yep.
So all we gotta do is take out the.
Yeah, once we're ready to go, we'll just put a tweet out or something, game back on or something like that.
But I'm doing that right now.
Well, we don't have my awesome communications person do that. She's already doing it. Oh, that's a good idea. Right now.
Do you have a hole in it already?
You gotta make the hole. Put it all over, and we'll find the best place to put on. Although the umbrella, like, when you promote the hole against the wind, yeah.
We can get, we have tape here and kind of tape it
I
around.
think a tape would be necessary. Yeah, I think we should do because like it's pretty windy with it.
Let me just get all the water out of the tape. You have a good angle there, Neil?
Yeah.
There's a roll of tape to try and hold it. Is that?
Yeah, just tape it around the border. The lens border should be good. Yeah.
Probably just do it completely over the bag. Just tighten it so that it doesn't slide. That way we don't even get it on your foot.
Yeah. Oh, just like right now. Yeah,
that's good.
Perfect. As long as it doesn't move in front of the camera during the game, I'm good.
Yeah,
That's good. Cool. Alright, cool. Did you see the lens cap on?
Yeah.
Did you see what it looks like?
lens cap. Overrated.
Alright, see the umbrella. We're good.
Oh yeah.
And everything else is good.
Yeah.
Can you move the umbrella for a second? I just want to make sure I'm not seeing any garbage bags.
Yeah.
Ooh, we are seeing a big garbage bag.
We've got video, we just won't have audio for a bit. It's fine.
That's from here. Top right.
Kathleen's giving me the play-by-play of the live stream. She's like, it's black. Oh, now they're turning it on.
Alright, top right.
Neil's hand.
And
She's
good.
like, there's an umbrella in front of it.
And bottom right.
Neil's
A
Thomas'
little bit
hand.
thing on the bottom right.
Yeah, we've got it. Cut a hole in the bag. So
Good.
we won't have
And
audio.
a little
for
bit left on the bottom, top
5
left.
minutes until we-
Just a little bit left. And it looks good. We're good. Thank you.
Do it and run out.
Alright. It's streaming.
Okay.
And now, okay. So,
Breathing is fine.
it's like what, a 1960s camera now?
So the clock will start when they pick up the disc. If that's
Alright.
once that clock is going.
When you push the disc, just press start.
Do that, then I will
Do you have the clock on?
Pardon me?
40, the clock should be running.
The clock's running.
Camera bag. Alright. New meeting with camera bag.
Alright, so if you want to, once you operate the camera, let's set up this audio system.
I'll do my best.
Alright,
Yeah, I was gonna say follow this until there's
so a break, yeah.
once there's a point scored and there's like a few seconds of down, then we'll do the audio. We don't.
Canada on the left.
Canada's on the right.
Well, that's my prediction. If who's gonna be able to handle a wet disc better came into play. A really wet disc. I didn't think it was gonna be this wet. I was thinking misty. I was assuming mist, but not. Trying to think of how I can. Waterproof or something. Better part right here.
This is left. Left corner.
Cool, thank you. Thank you for pulling up.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, snap. We can try the audio. Yeah, we tucked this in to hide it from
Perfect, that's perfect, that's perfect.
like
Got
bottom
two
and
bags
top.
here too.
Like, where should they put the mixer and stuff to make sure like that's like drizzle
No,
all
I
over?
would put it right under here or
Yeah.
something. We'll put another bag in front. We can tape a bag on the front here, right?
Yeah, that's smart. Okay, okay.
Actually,
So let's tape that bag first.
actually, do you want to hold that?
Yeah, I'll hold it.
You pick that up. Lift up the front of the camera legs. Slide. Neil, can you pull that all the way over? Farther, farther, farther. There, and then we just tape it up.
Cool.
Might even be able to just tie it here. Not that I've done this before for you guys.
Okay, Clay's gonna be coming in.
Alright.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't worry if we don't have audio for another one.
Streaming right now, no audio.
Yeah.
Just setting it up.
We're trying to make a protection for the audio system.
I think this will comply with the
Oh, wow. Yes.
It's all coming in where we want to see from, right?
Oh, no. Can you guys hold this over?
I think this is, the rain is so heavy, it's going to flow out in a second.
Okay.
It just can't last.
It's all good.
Is the umbrella in your way?
Right now it is. That's gone.
Is the iPad underneath
Leaning up on the front. Yeah. Starting to get a feel for the equipment.
This one doesn't have a fire opener.
Yep.
Okay.
I guess we'll just wait for halftime then to see what we're doing.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Seven,
Good
seven,
thinking.
right.
And that's
Yeah,
way down there.
perfect. Yeah, that's
Kind of cropping that thing out.
Perfect.
Can we get another couple garbage bags? I think
got
there's just a
two
stack.
here.
Oh, you have two here? Never
Yeah.
mind. We have them. We have them. I want to see if I can make a little wall here just to
Alright.
like somehow. Actually, do you have the tape?
Right here. Yeah, it's not okay then.
Or we take this end higher and that end lower. Actually, I guess we could do taking it and just stuff it in the hole. Enough to like.
Left. It's going to be coming in pretty much straight in front of us.
Got it.
They're just parents. Both sides.
Nelson. Need a clock. Try anything.
30 seconds.
Yep. We're working on cleaning your lens cap, cleaning the lens for our viewers. Bear with us. Wipe the lenses down. It's all right. It's all right, man. Sorry, no problem. You got the good angle to the lens. Keep it there for a sec. Hey, Caleb.
We're in half now?
Are you in the parking lot?
Yeah, it's halftime here. I just updated the store.
Okay, awesome. Presently,
All right,
I'm standing on the video tower.
Worth it, you think, or just stream and clean the lens?
I don't want to ruin the equipment, that's why.
Sorry, one sec. I answered you on my watch. I'm going to hang up and actually call on the phone. I'm just holding an umbrella right now. So 1 second, I'll call you back.
We're at halftime, Neil.
Cool.
Do you want me to hold that? You need to call someone?
I have two hands.
Well, lower the umbrella. We'll
bring
just
it right
protect
in
it
front of
fully right now. Like, people don't need to necessarily see halftime.
You have a bag you're coming in?
Yeah.
That's okay. No, it's $4. No, I'll get it up here.
That actually worked out all right.
Yeah, that's all fine. Where's the second umbrella we have?
It's
Right off, actually.
top?
Protecting this
All
crack
right.
from dripping on the camera. It's pretty smart whoever did that. No. Do they still hear us? As we're poking fun at one of our staff members. So, if we just...
Hello.
Can we actually provide you?
Pardon?
Yeah, so they can hear you guys.
Okay.
Hello?
Stand here and do verbal commentary for second half. We just don't have the mics for perfect audio.
Really? Is it control?
Or go right back for 2 seconds. Yeah. And everything's still.
There we go. I can hear you, kind of.
Okay.
Yes. I can kind of hear you, like cutting in and out. Oh, okay. Oh, awesome. Bye.
Just want to say thank you for the patience to our viewers. We are doing our best to protect the camera. We know you're getting the inside of an umbrella currently, but the rain is teeming down during halftime. We are also doing our best to ensure that the lens is fog controlled, shall we say, throughout the game. We'll try and do it every stoppage. We are using the onboard camera mic. We will attempt to provide some commentary through that. It won't necessarily be as clear as our normal audio setup.
But thank you again for having patience with us during this lightning delay and heavy rain that is still coming down here in Waterloo. Big shout out to our camera operator as well, suffering through this rain with us.
Andrew, director photo. You said halftime. We're doing director photo. Let's go.
I'm in.
I'm in. What's up? I'm already. I went over to watch. Okay, I'm gonna come down that way you don't have to stare at my ass that long.
Okay. Yeah.
I was trying to do something. Yeah.
Halftime is winding down, folks. My name's Andrew Portwine,
You got the ball.
I'm Naomi Redmond.
and we are gonna do our best to give you some commentary
Oh, like
once we get the second half resumed.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
As you can see on your scoreboard, 8-7 for the USA. They take half. We will move the protective umbrella when the play starts, doing our best to give the most protection as we can to our equipment.
And it is raining so hard right now. We kind of think it's going to blow over pretty soon. This can't be sustainable, and I think the teams are probably hoping that too.
Naomi, you said you were a West Coaster and you're used to rain.
Yeah.
This one?
They call it the West or the Wet Coast for a reason. I have definitely played in conditions like this. At least it's pretty warm. But I mean, the players might say so differently. I'm waterproof head to toe. But definitely looking for an exciting half. We're on serve here.
This is great. We have some houses just behind the Cut Camp Showcase field. We have people sitting on the roof. I assume it's an Airbnb taking in this fantastic final. This is a new level for Waterloo Ultimate for me. I feel like I'm at Wrigley Field with the rooftop seating. So apologize if the audio is a little bit low. We do have garbage bags over the microphone on the camera. We're going to do our best to raise our voice a little bit, make sure that we can try and give you as high quality as we can on this stream.
Let's go USA!
USA is pulling. US team chanting for their puller, maybe give them a little bit extra pep on that pull.
So Canada in the middle, moving it back and forth. That is a shot into the end zone. it out at the front of the end zone line.
The U.S. really came out fired up in the first couple of points. We didn't have audio, but you could probably see the reaction of the U.S. players in this rain. They're fired up to play in this rain.
Finding some space, a laying out ice brenner, just enough to stop that huck. And again, Canada laying out. All efforts are on the board. Dinger hangs onto it, looking deep. Everyone's a little deep here, doesn't like what he sees. And another layout attempt from Canada. Elliot Moore on the doorstep. And out into space. That's for Hammer. That's another goal for Team USA. Upwind. They're at 9. Canada at 7.
So Naomi, much like in the booth here, it's raining. We all know it. What do these teams have to do to keep their focus on the game and the gold medal they're chasing versus the elements that they're playing in?
I think when you're in the final of a world championship, you just go into it, become a new human being. This is elevated play here. We see bodies flying on the field. It's not too long before Canada connects with one of those attempts. Their D is definitely fired up. We're going to see a lot more from that. And this Canadian O-line is so talented. They just have to connect on some of those throws, try and work their way around the U.S. defense. U.S. defense putting a lot of pressure, but Canada needs to use their fakes a little bit more. You know, sometimes they're not going to get open on their first cut, like some of the easier games that they've had in this tournament. It's going to take a second cut, maybe a third. They're going to have to take a lot more steps, but it's the extra work that they put in that's going to get them back on the board.
I think we're going to see a lot more layouts now because you slide a little on the turf. You're not sticking as much, so players aren't nearly as fearful, I'm sure. Not that they were before, I'm sure, of these young guys, but...
That is a big pull from Team USA. Canada, the front of their end zone, looking up at a very junky defense. Lots of poaches under from Team USA. And that's a layered attempt. That is tough. Team USA to pick up right at the front of the end zone. It's Joey Kennedy going to pick up. That is a lefty look out into space. And a nice show of spirit there. The receiver in the end zone shaking hands with his defender, recognizes that nice bid. Tough break for Canada. Looks like we're going to have a timeout here.
Yeah, Canada needs to regroup. They haven't come out as strong as the U.S. in the second half here into the rain. U.S. players were getting fired up on the sideline. Like this is what they want to play in. Canada just doesn't seem to have that same fire and passion coming out. During our break, we did have use of an indoor field house. Both teams did have indoor space to throw around, stay warm. They were ready to come out and play.
And that's what it is. This is where it becomes the mental test. Both teams are going to have to work so hard. The rain is starting to let up a little bit, which is nice. There's virtually no wind right now. So when it comes to conditions, it's going to be so much more just about focusing, about pushing through mentally. Such a long tournament. But you see a lot of excitement coming from Team USA, and Canada is dialing in mentally here to try and climb out of this little hole that they have. It is 10-7.
We want to give one quick shout out. Neil Thomas standing up here as well, holding an umbrella to help protect this equipment. Suffering in the rain for the good of the stream and the good of the ultimate community. So thank you, Neil. it's times like these when you see the good people in Ultimate that do everything they can to make sure it gets out to the masses.
Team USA putting on a zone, 3-person zone. Canada looking towards the end zone. That's a throw into space. And that is caught. Number 9, Nabil Shayouch. Canada, 8.
So saturated. The touch screens are not recognizing my touch. Hopefully the scoreboard did update to 10-8. I'm getting a thumbs up. That's good. And that's what Canada needed. Keep themselves within a couple of points. They were looking a little bit flat coming out. They needed that goal to really get some energy and get them going again in this game. And that was good hands in the end zone on the catch. You can see that almost popped out of his hands. Wet disc, really difficult to catch. So Malmo, Sweden is the host of this event in 2 years. They've had their tournament director on site who won the bid, so he's getting a crash course in schedule management and rain protocols. So hopefully they won't have to use that in a couple of years and they'll have a nice smooth tournament.
USA picking up. They're going to take it to the brick. It's Johnny Mox in the middle. Cody Smart on his side. Canada, though, setting up in a zone. Canada choosing to put person-to-person defense on number 53, Mox, trying to make it more difficult here. But USA able to break the cup. They are right outside the end zone, and that is easy, picking apart the Canadian defense.
Canada trying a zone defense there, trying to throw a different look perhaps at the USA. Not as successful as they would have liked. I don't think they'll be going back to that one anytime soon if I was a betting man.
And the courage that it takes to throw that OI flick over everyone in the zone in this kind of weather, trusting your hands to make that throw good and trusting your receiver as well. Very commendable. Incredible throw by, I believe, Taylor on Team USA. Side shot. Shuey to Ing. And that is a rain D just off the hands of number 20. Too bad. Rushed throw from Canada, trying to go for the fast break. So Team USA is going to take another chance here.
Yeah, I think we addressed the fast play a little earlier in the game as well from Canada. That again, I think was a little rushed. There was still a couple of defenders for the USA. If they peel off the mark, it can be 2-on-1 in the end zone, which is very difficult to play.
Nice round throw. Someone's poached. A little bit of a pick there. Ing left all alone. Dinger looking upfield, fakes it off. USA painting the line.
Hey, no line!
A lot of chaos. And that's a retracted foul, so Canada with the poach D in the end zone. They're looking to the other end zone. That is a big shot from Kohlmeyer, but Dinger able to come down with it, and that's a D.
Well, that's an ambitious shot to ice Brenner downfield. Didn't really look for short option on Canada's behalf. They were looking to punt that, I think.
Got Moore on the sideline. USA moving so quickly here, but that rain is really causing a lot more turnovers than we usually see from either side.
Yeah, that was a good cut, proper play, separated from the defender, just couldn't squeeze the hands on the wet disc. US was looking very patient, working that disc up the field. Canada a little too much on that one, leading the receiver too far.
That's Shuey on the sideline. And a layout D. Moore calling the foul on Bennett, but he's going to call an injury.
Yeah, from our vantage point, that looked like a D from Canada, and the open hand slap, no disc between the hands as the receiver tried to get that. You could almost hear it from here. You have an injury call.
It's going to be a retracted foul call as well as an injury. Bennett's going to come off. And that's Kieran Charnock that's going to go on for him. Elliot Moore also going to come off, so Mox, the main American offensive handler, is going to pick up here. And Dinger catching it over a laying out Canadian player. And a little bit of a scoop. USA shakes free. They've got another one here. And that's going to be 12-8 for USA.
Just taking a look at the injured Canadian. He's moving his arm. I think he might have just had a stinger in the shoulder on that layout. Everything looks all right. To the medical tent here just beside us. know we're hanging out. I'd like to thank Discraft, BC Ultimate, Universe Point, Greatest Bag, of course, Cut Camps, Competitive Ultimate Training Camps for sponsoring this showcase field, and Minute School for making sure that this stream can get out to you as best we can today, but for the whole week, Minute School has supported this stream.
Canada looking deep. Armstrong with the disc. Back to Bedard. A lot of quick movement here from Canada. Nathan Ambrose looking deep, bends one around. Lockholt's in the area and can't hang on to it. It's a nice D from Team USA. Nice look from Ambrose. Canada playing great defense here. Villeneuve looking deep, out into space. That's a nice throw. Pancake layout grab. Team USA is now at 13.
To 8 for the U.S. The U.S. really came out of this weather break, I'll say, a team possessed. They've really been on point for much of this resumption of play. Canada, a little bit of fight back, but not playing the way they would have hoped to keep this as a competitive match as it was before the weather delay. USA just completely in charge of this break. We've got roughly 19 or so minutes left in the game. Canada plenty of time, but not a lot of leeway on the scoreboard given the U.S. mark right now.
Kohlmeyer in the middle. Icebrenner bails him out. Steele with a nice undercut. A lot of traffic. He's going to have to put it out into space. Really no option for Steele there. Dinger picking up. Dinger floats one out. A lot of jumping. A couple of misses. It's just going to slowly float out of bounds there. So Canada with another chance.
Canada really static with the disc currently. Content to go to high stall counts. Not a lot of options downfield. U.S. doing great with their defensive play.
Got a pick. Deep in the stack. deep striking option. Boris wants it, but Canada just too deep to make that possible. And there it goes. That is forced up. Boris is running out of...
That disc did come back into play, so a little bit of yardage gain, net benefit out of that. You can see the disc slipped out of the handler's hand on that throw.
That's a big throw. That's a nice D as well. 14 on Canada. Keenan Ashley makes the play. Very active mark here. Canada floats one out. It's going deep. Little bobble. Way to hang on to it. Ice Brenner, he's going to be on the sideline. Floats one out into space, and it goes over the head of Chewy. That is Luke Komeyer going to hang on to it. He was all over the field on that point.
To 9, the U.S. We'll get our lens cleaned so that we can have you a clear view of this action that we're seeing. I think Chewy would like to have that one over again. As much as it was nice touch from the Canadian throw, Chewy is a very tall player, and I think he misread the disc, mistimed his jump on that D. Some thunder rolling through. And we are going to take our second weather delay. Please stay tuned if we resume this game in at least 30 minutes.
What's your name? Osama? Osama David. Oh, are you counting up or down? Time left? No, it's 14 minutes and 54 seconds. Tom. Where's Tom? 14:54. All right. There we go. So 14 minutes and 6 seconds left if you're counting that way.
Good.
Pardon me?
It'd be good if you go in the middle and then Andrew stands on your other side, because it's like when we're talking this way, I think that's when you can't hear anything.
Okay.
Do we know how much time was on the clock when we
I just
stopped?
check right now for the asset. It's still 14:06.
I was just saying, do you want to stand on that side? I'll stand on this side.
Sure. Here before with Kevin or with Neil here, I couldn't see, so I was like,
Yeah.
Who wants this?
You want another bag? Do you want it? I am waterproof.
oh, I don't know, we can just set it here and hold it in the bag if you want to. Like, I'll do it.
I mean, like, I'm in one of the man.
Yeah, I'll man it if we just, like...
Yeah, perfect. We're already streaming, so...
Is the sound on right now? Have fun. Best day ever.
It's a great day. We're going to get a gold medal handed out. Okay, so you're okay for the recap?
All right, we are back. We are live.
They're getting ready to go.
We are live in Waterloo. This is the World Junior Ultimate Championships 2018. Doing my best to yell into the camera here. Hopefully you folks at home can hear us. We have Team USA. They are at 13 right now. Canada at 9. Canada looking to hold off USA. We've had a few weather delays, but we are ready to go. We have a pick. Team USA, an isolated cutter in the middle, locks at the disc. That's a big throw, break side around, looking for Shuey. And he tries to keep his toes in. Canada calling it out of bounds. So that's going to be a turnover. Canada to pick up. That's Armstrong going to pick up the disc. He's going to take it at the front of the end zone.
Let's go USA!
Bunch of players going deep. Not a lot of options. Smart knocks it out of the hands of Bedard. Team USA here looking to hold. That's out into space, but it's wet. Just out of the hands, so Canada here, another chance. That's a nice feed from USA. And again, we have so many drops. That's just showing how wet the disc is. The rain has slowed down quite a bit, but the turf is still wet. Every time the disc hits the turf, it makes it so much more difficult to catch.
The USA really gifting Canada a couple of opportunities here to come back with their own attempt at goal.
Armstrong moving the disc really well here. Really good handler movement. Team USA just absolutely shutting down any option that Canada has. Smart picking up. All the way across. That's a high one into the end zone. Shuey right on the doorstep. That's easy. That's a goal for Smart. We are at 14 for Team USA and 9 for Team Canada.
A cheeky little push pass to get that into the end zone for the final touch. USA brimming with confidence.
Just a quick shout out to all of our spectators through all sorts of weather this week, but especially today it's been very wet. Great to see a sideline here lined by so many people, lined by so many fans. It makes it really exciting, elevates the experience for everyone up in the field, and we love seeing that here in Waterloo.
Yeah, USA! Let's go, USA! Amber's on! Amber's on!
Stinger with the pull. And again, that U.S. defense, Canada gonna put it out into space all the way, and that's a goal. That's Jeffrey Boris with the hammer strike. Canada now at 10.
That's some good touch on that downfield throw. Cut the disc a little bit back into the receiver's path. Easy run on.
And even though a little bit of a hospital pass, that was, probably stall 8, high in the stall counts, but a nice shot, lots of touch. Looking downwind, that's critical for Canada to stay in this game.
It's true, Naomi. You were just mentioning the high stall count. Canada, again, in these few points since the weather delay, are getting into the high stall counts again. Testament to the U.S. defense playing very well, but Canada, I noticed, passing up on some of the reset options at stall 2, purposely looking downfield for some of the bigger gains.
Smart in the middle. Knox looking upfield. Taking a shot out into space. Ryan Connor runs onto it. And that is a gold medal for Team USA here at the World Junior Ultimate Championships in Waterloo.
That was a good-looking throw, good-looking run on and patience from the receiver to get that into the end zone. Good way to finish this game for the USA.
And great work by both teams. Definitely facing a lot of adversity in this final, and a great tournament. Both teams undefeated up until this point. Congratulations to Team USA. Thank you for Team Canada, the hosting team of this tournament. And thank you for everyone who tuned in, stayed connected through a lot of weather delays here, but we are signing off. Quick thank you to everyone who helped organize this championships. Thank you to Discraft, Universe Point Cleats, VC, and especially Cut Camps for making this field happen. Thank you, everyone. I'm Naomi Redmond, joined by Andrew Portwine here in the booth. Take care, and we'll see you in 2 years in Malmo.